Kobe face. Kobe, we miss you. Yo, what's going on, everyone? I am Mr. Fomer Simpson. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything. We are almost at 200,000 subscribers. 2016 is almost over and we really want to hit 2017 at top speed. We really want to take this channel to new heights. And when I say we, I mean my brother and I, but also all of you. It's you that keep the channel going. I've talked about this a little bit in recent videos, but it really is true. When we show sneakers and we go somewhere, go to a new city, we share all that. We share that experience together. And I think that's the really cool thing about YouTube, is that it affords us that opportunity. It allows us to do that. It allows us to be a team, to be a group, to be a family. And I just want to say thank you for that. So let's just keep building. Let's continue and just keep this momentum going. And 2017 is going to be a great year for all of us. So I'm very excited about it. Thank you guys so much. And with that said, let's talk about some Kobe's. Drum roll, please. Bang, bang. The Nike Kobe AD. That hurts me a little bit to say. This is essentially the Kobe 12, but of course it is called the AD because this is the first model to release since Kobe retired. AD, after death. Mamba, RIP, we miss you. These are available right now. I'll put a link in the description for anyone who wants to buy a pair, and they are $160. As far as the fit goes, these are a little bit snug on the width, not so much on the length, but just on the width. So I wouldn't really recommend sizing up. I just think if you have those wide, gargantuan Shrek feet, this is probably not going to be the model for you. You know, and that's super important. Fit and comfort. When you're talking about on-court performance, nothing is above that. That is the most important thing. It doesn't matter what kind of fancy schmancy tech Nike gave us or Nike put into the shoe. If it doesn't fit you right, it's not going to be a good look. You're not going to be able to tap into that tech and really use that to your advantage. You know, if you're getting blisters or your pinky toes getting grinded into the side of the shoe or you're sliding all around, it doesn't matter how great the tech is. It's just not going to work. So make sure the shoe fits your foot. I feel like the tech Nike used on these is very similar to some previous Kobe models. Obviously you see it's low cut, but the Flywire, the Lunar Lawn, the zoom in the heel, very Kobe-esque. With Flywire, I think it's one of those things that's become so common that it's kind of like, whatever. But Flywire is dope and really does a great job with lockdown. And anyone who plays basketball, you know how important lockdown is. That is necessary. You know, when you're talking about the different tech departments or compartments, aspects, whatever you want to call them, lockdown has got to be towards the top. It's just got to be. Now, in that same breath, these laces seem a little extra chunky, much more so than a normal basketball lace. And chunky laces, from my experience, are really hard to keep laced tight. You know, when you look at like a Jordan 11, those things are coming unlaced all the time. And that is not what you want to be doing on a basketball court, is every 5 minutes having to get down on one knee and relace your sneakers. Also, do not get caught slipping. You know, the ball is down there. You're like, you know what, I'm going to hang back. I'm going to relace my shoe really quick. You look up, they're already coming back this way. Alley-oop, it's in the air. As you realize what's going on, it's too late. Boom. Dunk on your neck. You just got banged on. And your girlfriend is in the stands. Out of all games, she came to this one. You just got dunked on in front of your girlfriend. Don't get dunked on in front of your girlfriend, or she probably won't be your girlfriend anymore. That's just some free advice. Another concern I have is how flat the shoe is. You know, there's no flex grooves or anything, and so flexibility wise, it just doesn't seem like they're going to be good. Me personally, I've gotten so used to hooping in sneakers that do have flex grooves and that are flexible that I just don't know that I'm really going to like this setup. You know, the KD9 is the exact opposite. They've got that perfect incision right at the ball of the foot, and it really allows for a ton of flexibility. These will be good court feel wise, just because there's not a bunch of cushioning in the forefoot. And so maybe that court feel will make up for it a little bit, but there's nothing worse than, well, there's a few things worse, but having a clunky midsole, and even though this isn't a clunky shoe, not being able to bend is going to kind of feel that way. You know, you don't want to be just kind of clunking around on the court, you know, in a pair of clodhoppers. That's not a good look. If relacing will get you dunked on, this will get your ankles broken, crossed over, hopped over, and your girlfriend's still in the stands. So, I don't know. Maybe that court feel is going to be good enough. We'll just have to wait and see. I do like Lunar Lawn. I do like the responsiveness of it. And with the setup they have with the zoom units in the heel and nothing in the forefoot, although you do lose a little bit impact protection, you do have that court feel and you do have a little more spring. You know, I like super cushioned shoes. You know, I loved the KD9 that was one of the reasons why I loved it. But if you're talking about just bounce and explosiveness, you're better off with nothing in the forefoot. Because when you go and when you spring and explode on a hard basketball court, if you have too much cushioning, if you have too much of a spongy setup, yes, it does absorb a lot of the shock and a lot of the pressure and trauma to your knees and your joints, and that's why I like it. But it also does absorb a lot of your explosiveness and explosion too, and so it hurts you in that regard. So, you know, it really comes down to personal preference. Like I said, this is a very similar setup to previous Kobe models. So I think it's one of those things that if you've liked the Kobe line generally, then you'll probably like these, you know, because guys are different. Now, some people, they hoop in Jordans and Kobe's and KD's and LeBron's and even D Roses and Lillards and just pretty much everything. Other people stick to a certain line, kind of. And when you do stick to a line, I think a little bit you can kind of get the feel of it and you can kind of know what to expect a little bit. And I think that's the case with these. Just want to touch on the traction pattern really quick. It's a kind of interesting pattern, but when it comes to traction, that's the one thing you really can't predict. You see the little ridge here, you know, that'll help with cuts and with support. That's a good look. But to really be able to predict the traction, there really is no way to predict it. You have to put them on the pavement. You have to put the hours in on different surfaces with different dust levels. That's how you really get a feel for the traction. You know, with a lot of this other tech, we've seen it so much that, you know, it becomes very easy to predict. I know what Flywire does. I know what, you know, Zoom feels like. Yes, there's greater or lesser degrees of everything and how it all combines together. But, you know, the tech becomes pretty easy to predict. Traction, not so much. Overall, I am excited to hoop in these. I think there's going to be some things I really like about them. And like I said, there are some concerns, but nonetheless, very excited to get out there and put the hours in. Let me know what you think about them. Are you going to grab a pair of these? Are you passing? Are you a Kobe guy? Are you a LeBron guy? Let me know in the comments below. Always love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. You are appreciated. Stay tuned. More vids on the way. And until next time, Mr. Foamer Simpson, I'm out. If you like sneakers and dope shit, subscribe to the channel. We do at least 3 videos a week. You won't be disappointed.